Next presentation is titled Transformation to Japanese Sustainable Management, its status in terms of engagement between investors and company by Ms. Emi Onozuka, Director, Vice President, and CEO of Japan Catalyst. Thank you very much, Ms. Onozuka. Floor is yours. Good afternoon. My name is Onozuka from Manex Group, Japan Catalyst. Thank you very much for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Today, I'm going to make a presentation titled Transformation to Japanese Sustainable Management, which is drawing attention on a global basis and its status. So I'm going to make a presentation what's happening in the front line, which I am involved in. First, regarding our company, so internet security businesses and also handling virtual money. Last year, we established this company. This is a rare company in the world. We have the engagement strategy for individual investors. So in the Manex Group, since its foundation for the last 20 years, and environment relating to internet security business has been changing significantly, and customers are increasing their wealth. And we are trying to activate capital market, and we are trying to make our business model evolve. So our company is considered a core company for that endeavor, and we want to be a catalyst, or in Japanese, it may mean that causing trigger. So Japan Catalyst. So we have a chairman, Mr. Matsumoto, who is the CEO of Manex Group, and we based in Japan. We have the members who are all professional. who understand what's happening in Japan in terms of corporate sector and regulatory environment. And also, we have an engagement strategy for individual investors. So these are the basis for our business model. And we are trying to be involved in the diversity. So we are providing advice to Manex Activist Fund for the future of Japan. We are intensively making investments to the listed companies. The catchphrase is that you cannot just wait for the future, but you have to create the future. This is Rare Activist Fund catering to individual investors. It's not just a proposal, but also we are making the proposal based on the suggestions from individual investors. And we are, so to speak, crowdsourcing. So I'm going to get to the substance of my presentation, which is about sustainable finance and engagement investment. First, I'm going to look at the relationship between the two. When it comes to sustainable finance, this means that it's to change the flow of capital in order to promote the sustainability in the companies and society. And the part of it, we have sustainable investment, and also we have engagement investment as part of sustainable investment. Engagement investment is to drive the changes to the companies on how to act, and also exercising the voting right or using the shareholders' right and making the proposal as shareholders. And social-related issues can include climate change, food, or poverty, whatever. But for Japan, one of the serious challenges for Japan is the concern or uneasiness that young people have. Even through the indices for impact investment or SDG investment, these concerns has not been captured. So according to a survey of Japan Foundation, there was a question whether or not people consider their future will be bright. only 10% of young people said yes. And 40% of younger people say that their future won't be bright. So the top 30% of them said that they don't know. And also UK, Germany, UK were in the scope of the research, and also China, Indonesia, and India were also included in the target of the survey. But we found that in developed countries, less and less people said that their future will be bright or promising, and Japan ranked the bottom. On top of that, and there was another question whether they think they can change their future. And 30% of people said that they could. In other developed countries, more than 50% of them answered yes, and 85% in India and 60% in China. So compared to that result, the percentage for Japanese younger people was low. So this indicates that the younger people have uneasiness for their future, partly because of their economic situation. So given this, raising their voice, which is important, that's why we said that you cannot just wait for the future, but you have to create your future as the slogan of our company's activity. So it's not just dialogue with the company, but we also have live seminar, be engaged in the individuals. What we are trying to do is to make a bright future for Japan and help individuals to develop their wealth. And also, when it comes to engagement with Japanese companies, the key is sustainable management. Sustainable management means that the shareholders, including the owner, providing the value and making a contribution to sustainable society. So part of the sustainable society is the cash flow generation through business activities. That includes governance, management strategy, business portfolio, business strategy, and corporate finance with the capital cost in mind. However, Japanese companies still, actually many of the listed companies, there are many opportunities. They have many opportunities for improvement in terms of business portfolio. So management reform is indispensable things, and engagement investment is to help companies in this endeavor. And another piece is to provide value to stakeholders, and in other words, sustainability governance, including the independence of the board. And this is the aspect that we are paying attention to. And also, now, the world is paying attention to the engagement investment in Japan. And this has been featured in many media. And also, since we established the fund in August, many asset owners inquired to us in terms of the strategy. So what kind of people are activists to be engaged in engagement investment? Activists mean that they, in order to fulfill their responsibility as the owner, and they work together with the company in an active manner. So mainly through dialogue with the top management and also making the shareholders proposal. And usually the period for the dialogue would last for a couple of months or through a couple of years. And then the companies will be able to evolve and their share prices will improve. So with this engagement, return is generated. It's not the return that we can enjoy through the conventional type of engagement. Looking at the historical global performance, 15% to 20% return is something that we can target or expect in a year. In Japan, there are 49 activist funds are taking actions. And the model, this is the model to create the value to the shareholders as well as the companies. Then, why activism now? So we are going to look at some historical perspective. Since the end of the war and until 1990, this is the first phase. We saw Japanese management style, and the governance style was debt governance. That was the major governance style. During that period, Japan witnessed tremendous economic growth. The companies grew, and many entrepreneurs became successful. However, there was no role to be played by activism or activists. And then the second phase is from 1990 through 2010. We were experiencing appreciated yen. There were many top management who are actually employee of a company. They tended to stick to the Japanese way of management. And then at the time, bubble economy burst. And then the typical debt governance stopped working. But on the other hand, there were cross-shareholding. And then the banking service became weak. And then the activists tried to force the companies they are investing in to change. However, at the third phase, which is now, some companies are trying to explore the way to migrate from the conventional way of Japanese management style, and partly because of Abenomics. And now they are more leaning toward having dialogue. So from activist perspective, this is the tailwind for activists. So it is now that the Japanese companies will be able to move toward sustainable management, as we saw in the second phase, and the activist style, typical one versus our approach. And so in our company, we would like to develop the trustful relationship with the companies we are engaging, we are investing in, and we try to have constructive engagement versus hostile style of the conventional activists. And also, the Chairman Matsumoto has built the network as the entrepreneurs, and we can leverage the network. And we don't consider the shareholders' proposal as a core tool, but sometimes we use if we consider necessary. And then I'm going to give you one example in terms of our engagement with Jeffco Group, And Jeffco Group is the leading venture capital companies. And we started investment since October 2020, and immediately after investment, we started having dialogue. And usually it takes a couple of months or a couple of years, but this was done in a speedy manner. This is one of the characteristics for us. And also in the end of last year, we made a proposal to the board. As a result of this, Jeffco sold a significant amount of shares. And then they made an announcement about shareholder return. And then that was appreciated by the investors, and share prices increased. Because we were investing to the company, Manex's share prices also increased. For this, Even the representative for Jeffco Group appreciate this, saying that that event or engagement with Catalyst trigger our growth. More recent example is Nippo. Parent company is Onozuka, and there was a public offering, and we started to share the stocks. Usually, as an activist, we want to build the trustful relationship. That's why our engagement is done in an unofficial manner or in a closed manner. But this time, it is the open or public engagement, considering the big impact to the market. And ENEOS and Nippo are listed, and usually the parent company of Nippo is appreciated, but because the price for parent company to purchase subsidiary is considered to be too low. So as the shareholder, we consider probably we should raise their voice. But actually, the board supported this M&A, but when they think about the future business development, and they had to think about whether this was fair or not. And also, this becomes more important when further dialogue between investors and Japanese companies and the parent company and subsidiary decided to be listed. And if conditions is disadvantageous for subsidiary, this will not be accepted. So after the announcement of this event, shareholders in the world expressed their support on this. So it's not just the dialogue with individual companies, but also other investors, or even we want to involve the society as a whole to be engaged in the dialogue going forward. And lastly, I would like to show you our performance in terms of engagement investment. As you can see here, this is the Medics Activist Fund. It was 10,000 yen, was set June 25th last year. But now the base value has increased by 30% to be 13,000 yen approximately. So for the better future of Japan, or help individuals to build their assets, and also for sustainability, we would like to be engaged in the activity. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Ms. Ono.